What's up, guys? Matt here, coming at you with a budget-friendly video today, hopefully. So I've been playing around with this FCX24 here. This is the one I put the pancake motor in, and like the stock body would have fit if I wanted to kind of cut it a little, but I thought if I'm going to do all that, I may as well just like mount up something, you know, a new body, a different way. So I got a lot left to do with this. I still don't have any kind of windshield in there. I'm going to do just like a soft clear material for the windshield to save some weight up high, and just playing around with like mounting the front with a wheel nut up here. I don't know, we may just do magnets. The back is notched to fit over the frame rails, so it's not really going anywhere, so magnets would probably hold it. And then I tucked like the grill here and really tuck it loose, flipped it and mounted it up, and you can see the truck's sitting kind of odd right now, but that's why we're here. So this shock mod, you know, it's easy to start throwing money at these things, and you can see this side sitting lower than this one, but it's not, you know, always the easiest to take what you got and work with it. But the cool thing about this truck is it comes with some really good parts. You know, the shocks are pretty dang good, honestly, in my opinion. I don't have any problem running these shocks, and they come with the O-rings that you can put in them to oil fill them. Some of them do anyways. My first one didn't have that bag. It was not there. I looked everywhere. But so what I did is I made a forced droop setup on this side over here. Now it's not quite as strong as I would like it to be, and it's got oil in there, so it has dampening, but it also kind of keeps itself sucked in and keeps the front a little lower. I think you can see there how that side's pulled down a little lower. Plus I'm running no springs, so that also helps. But so all I did on that, I was going to show you guys these springs that I found, and I will link these in the description. But I got two different gauges, and this one is too stiff, and this one's, I would like just a little bit more out of it. But overall, I think they're gonna work. And for $5 you can get those springs and really do this to your shocks. Now you'll need some type of oil. You can do basically any kind of thin oil, honestly. But all we're gonna do is, with our $5 bag of springs, and these, here's the numbers on them. They're 0.2 millimeter by 3 millimeter by 10 millimeter is what these are. And I got these, I was working with them on like the double barrels. You can see it sucks that back up in there. So like on the double barrels, it kind of keeps those in a little bit of a droop, but they don't hardly want to fit in there. And they're not super strong. They're, like I said, they're lacking just a little bit, but I think it'll be enough to make a difference on this truck. And you know, this is probably not the best possible shock setup or mod or whatever for this, but it's a budget friendly. These are $5 shipped. Now they come from China, so you're gonna have to wait a pretty good little bit. I probably waited close to 2 weeks to get those. And I actually just ordered a bunch more to try some sizes, some different sizes. But for now, we're gonna put these on the truck and run it, if these will come out of the bag. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of these springs, we're gonna put it on here. Then we're gonna put this back just like it was. Then we want our little rubber O-rings. And I don't know what's up with this rubber O-ring. As soon as it came out of the package, it just went squirrely. And then you pop your cap back on. So hopefully it'll hold oil. These other ones are holding pretty good. And then I'm not running the springs on the front. I left them on the rear, so we had a little bit more stiffening back there to help us when we're going uphill. We're not, you know, just dropping all of a sudden. But on the front, I left them off. And you can see with that spring in there, our rubber O-rings in there holding us back. But I got some of this low C 15 weight oil. And it just takes a little bit. I spill most of that. So you can see, I just had to get that, a little bit of oil on that O-ring and get that thing lubed up a little bit, because it was holding back our shaft. It wasn't letting that spring pull this thing in. So you can see how it's kind of sucking that back up in there a little bit. And I lost a bunch of the oil, but really you just want enough oil in there. You can kind of see it. If it's too full, it won't be able to compress all the way. So I usually just let it compress like that, tighten the cap down. And so the oil gives it a little bit of dampening, but it also returns itself. So kind of keeps that front end sucked down a little bit. And you could run the springs, you can do it a lot of different ways. You can run a thicker oil. You're probably going to get less droop there, but you can see that it's kind of sitting in the middle. So we got a little bit both ways, but it keeps that shock shortened. So I think that's going to keep the front end down. Like I said, this is kind of just a test and a cheap mod. You may be able to even find those springs, you know, somewhere else that you can get them cheaper, but so you can see that front end is really sucked down there. All right, guys, so had to trim out just a little bit on my grill. I just put that on there and my servo arm was hitting it. I think you can see now how that's pulling that front end back down. So that's going to keep us a little more planted when we're going uphill, hopefully, just like our internal spring shocks on these. But this is a $5 mod. You don't have to buy new shocks and this and that. You know, I'm running internal sprung shocks on the front there and some longer travel oil field in the rear here. And so that's two different sets of shocks. You know, for that setup you'd have to buy. Now I just kind of had them around, but this, like I said, these shocks aren't half bad out of the box. They're way better than any other that I've pulled out of the box for anywhere around this scale. And I think this will work for $5. You know, it's well worth the shot. I thought you guys might be interested in it. So I'll run this thing a little bit just so you can see it doing work. And then I got to get back to trying to finish this body up. I got some material I'm going to make windows out of so that I don't have to use the hard plastic windshield and everything they give you with them. And we'll see what else we can come up with this thing. I don't know. It's rough, but hey, I'm rough. So, all right, you guys let me know what you think. Let's do a little running with it. All right, guys, so we're just gonna mess around here a little bit. I don't have my lights wired in yet. You can see there, I broke one of the wires off actually, and so I'm gonna have to solder that back up. Look at that. Too easy. so I think we may be in high. So I was just doing all that wrong in high. This is low. This thing is so smooth, you can't even tell. Like, you can run in high and be just fine, but see, there's low. Let's bump it in high again, because see how we do going downhill and around. I'm just running this thing in high gear. I'm not even bothering putting it in low with this pancake. It's so smooth. And look, it holds itself really well. Put it in low here so we're not straining the motor too much, maybe. Let's revisit this old school climb here on the old course. She's just about gone, boys, and this always was a hard spot for a wide truck. Because you almost just can't get up that with a wide truck. We got another man down, boys. Good thing I got a few Band-Aids. All right, guys, so this thing seems to be running pretty good. You know, for a $5 mod, like, in my opinion, it's a great way to set up these stock shocks. Like I said, these are pretty good shocks anyways for, you know, an RTR coming with the truck. Like, you can already oil fill them. That's pretty dang sweet. And these, you can see, I cut my springs on these also a while back, but I like this little droop mod for the front. One thing I forgot to mention, when you're putting these shocks together, make sure and put this O-ring, one of these, around the top cap. You can see I forgot to do it on the last one. I thought I did it already and got busy making the video, blah, 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 and you can see it's leaking now. So these other ones, no leakage if you just do things right. But always something, right? All right, so anyways, I think this is a pretty good little mod for the price, you know, and if you're on a budget, this is definitely something you could probably order up. Now, it takes a while to get them, so you're gonna have to wait, but for $5, it's hard to complain. I appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell. Got plenty of stuff coming for these trucks, the SCX24s, all kinds of stuff. I appreciate everybody. Peace.